Hi, everyone. Checking if everything's working well. Okay, so hi, everyone. This is Nitin. I run Zerodha. Uh, the question a lot of people have always wanted to ask me is how is it being a person running a brokerage firm? So, so we thought, why not have a webinar on this? Why not take question and answers from all of you, our clients, and explain you what actually goes behind running a brokerage. So firstly, I'd like you because we just hit 3 lakh clients. So the last 100,000 clients came in like 6 or 7 months. It wouldn't have been possible without all your support. Uh, so what I'll do is I'll quickly look at all the questions that are coming through, and I'll select a few, right? And what we'll also do is I'll kind of uh, answer only the ones I think is relevant to this webinar, right? So, so first thing first. Uh, okay. Okay. So the first question is around certain technical issues. Okay. Now, so the first thing that I'd like all of you to know is that as a business, we spend the most amount of time and money and effort behind technology. So I mean, because we are a tech-driven firm, you know uh, and technology is what drives our business. So it's I mean, there are times when I get feedback from people saying, why can't you do XYZ and things, I mean, so the entire effort all the time, 24/7, I'm dreaming, sleeping, breathing with our technology team to figure out ways that we can offer and improve the trading experience at Zerodha, right? That said, so we are also kind of limited by the trading, the infra that we have access to, right? So now, to give a small little example, right, as in uh, all the orders that come from your platform to us, which goes to the stock exchanges, goes through lease lines, right? Now these lease lines have a certain capacity, right? Certain lease lines can do 400 messages per second, some can do 200, but the maximum in India that we can get from an exchange is a 400 message per second line, right? So now, if say tomorrow there were 600 orders that came through in 1 second, right? If I send it on the 400 message per second line, it'll take 1 second plus some more, so for those orders to go through. So what it means now is that we need to add more of these lease lines, right? More 400 message per second lease line. Now, the even though there's a lot of disruption happening in terms of mobile rates and etc., the commercial rates are still there. There is there's no disruption happening still in the commercial lease line bit. So these lease lines are extremely expensive. That said, it's not about spending. The other challenge we have is just the laying of these lease lines take us, like to give an example, the last application for our lease line is 6 months old, and we are still waiting on that lease line to be commissioned and go live, right? So we are, so like I keep telling, some of the people here, so we are like a 200 kilometer per hour car which is trying to, kind of drive on a 100 kilometer per hour capacity road, right? So but then we are learning with time. We're kind of adapting to the environment. So we have, so for example, right now we are in that stage, we are saying that let us scale everything that we have at Zerodha to 5x of what is the peak load right now. So which would mean that, us investing a lot of money on our infra and capacity, but at least that way, we are ahead of the time. Because right now, the way we were measuring till now was to say that let's be twice the capacity of what we can manage. But then we've had issues in the recent past where, on certain days, this capacity got breached and we couldn't, instantly increase the capacity, right? So uh, because in India it takes so much time for us to, be able to up the capacity, let's just be at 5x 6x of what our current peak capacity is. So hopefully, we have done a bunch of things over the last few months, and hopefully these these technical issues shouldn't happen, and at least the ones that we are in control of shouldn't happen. But there are, running this business, one of those challenges that I have running this business is that most people uh, think that, most people look at this business uh, as as a fact that, so here's the thing. Okay, now I don't know how to explain this, but um, when you make money, and then when you lose money, you're actually making or losing money to someone else on the other side of your platform, right? I mean, if you go on the trading screen of yours and you place an order, you make money, you're making it from some other person. You lose money, you're losing to some other person, right? So it is not that, uh, Zerodha here makes anything from the PNL of a client. The PNL of a client is essentially the person on the other side. So one of the biggest challenges that I have running this business is to kind of pass this message on, right? Because uh, is that because when something goes wrong, a lot of people jump on us and say, so like, you make a lot of money out of all of this. No, we make nothing. A technical issue happens. I think we are one of the only few brokers who go out there, and we have obliged to a lot of clients sometimes, when uh, and make good if there have been certain losses because of us. Um, but generally in this business, no one does that, right? And in this business, if I'm making 20 rupees a trade, that's the only money I make from the client, right? Or if I'm doing delivery trades at 0 rupees, that's the only money that we make as a business. So there's nothing else, as a source of income there, right? Uh, so yeah, so one of the other big challenges for our business is, a lot of people think that this money that we earn comes without any risk, which isn't true, because as in our bread, butter, jam, etc., as Zerodha today is from people who are trading either futures and options or intraday trades, right? Because we don't charge on equity delivery trades. Now, on these futures and options and intraday trades, there's a leverage involved, right? As in, with 100 rupees, someone's buying for 1,000 rupees, right? So now, every such trade that I'm allowing to be executed in our platform, we as Zerodha are actually taking risk. We are actually taking risk on the other side. What if, say, a stock is at 100 rupees and it suddenly falls 50%, and someone has leveraged, say, 10 times, right? Now, that risk on the table is us. So technically, I mean, as a broker, a broker is actually exposed to unlimited risk on every single trade that is being executed on a platform, right? So a broker has to be compensated for the risk. You never know when that next incident happens where a broker could potentially lose money. So I'd compare running a brokerage business also to, like, online brokerage business like ours to something like an insurance business, right? As in, like a vehicle insurance business, right? Where you keep paying a certain amount of money, but then there could be an incident, where on one of those days when market collapses, we could potentially lose all the money we made in 1 year in, say, a couple of days. Uh, so and also, the big challenge for us as a business is that when we started our business, like 6 years back, we were charging 20 rupees a trade, right? As in, I keep joking about this, so a tender coconut, was available for 10 rupees then. A tender coconut cost you 30 rupees, but our brokerage is still at 20 rupees, right? Our team then was 20 people sitting in a 1,000 square feet office. Today we are a 650 member team sitting in 40,000 square feet of office. And but we still charge the same. So yeah. So as I said, I mean, so one of those things that I just wanted everyone to know is that, single trade that is executed on the platform which has leverage to it, there is a risk a broker is taking. So, and a broker deserves to make some money out of this risk he's taking, because you never know when when the balance shifts, and there could be an incident where the broker might have to pay something from his pocket. So there has to be money earned as a business for that to cover, right? So now, one of the question is, how did you start the firm? How many members? How much cost it takes to open this kind of a firm? What will be the marketing part? Okay, so how did I start the firm? I mean, I think I've told this story like like 100 times already, like 1,000 times maybe, right? So I was a trader from a long time, and in 2008, 2009, when the markets fell, I was short on the market, so we made some money during that time. And Nikhil, my younger brother, was a better, much better trader than I am, and so I said, why can't Nikhil just continue trading? And I said, why not I give a shot at being a brokerage firm that we didn't have as traders for a long time, so that's how the firm started. I mean, when we started the business, the whole the edge then was to say low cost and more transparency. But then, as and when time flew by and we had competitors who were trying to be low cost and transparent, we realized the real edge for the business will be only if we can stay ahead in terms of technology. So I got extremely lucky to find like the most brilliant technologist I know, to join us, K, who heads our tech, and then today I think the reason we have grown the business to wherever is because our tech and not really I mean, low cost, etc. All is part of it, but I think the primary reason is the products that we have to offer, right? The cost of being a broker today is you need to give exchanges deposit of 1.5 crore. Now, one of the reasons that I could, we could also start the business back in 2010 without too much of capital was because NSE was, gives out a free technology product called Now. So you can become a member on the exchange, get this Now platform for free of cost, right? So that's how we started. So the money, actually there was not too much money that went into starting it. Now, one of those things that we've been extremely lucky is that I think we've hopefully done some decent things. So a lot of our clients have liked what we have done. So we have grown our business through word of mouth and not really spent any money. To tell the truth, I mean, till date we have spent 0 rupees on advertising. I mean, we haven't really done any Google AdWord campaign or none of those. So it's been absolutely organic, and yeah, so that's how it's grown. Now, the other question, which I was getting asked in the morning was, I mean, on trading Q&A sometime back actually, was saying, why is Zerodha doing everything for investors when you say, your bread, butter, jam comes from futures and options traders, right? As in, absolutely, all our earning today is from futures and option traders and equity intraday traders. We earn nothing from equity investors, because we charge 0 rupees as brokerage, right? But like I said, I mean, if you come to our technology floor and if you actually see the team, the entire team is actually building our trading ecosystem. So our entire focus, as in the like 80% of our tech team is actually working on Kite, our trading platform itself, right? Now, what all these new releases that you've been seeing through us, be it small case, be it balance, etc. I mean, which are screener, etc. This is not an in-house built product, right? So we run a incubator called Rain Matter, where where we have partnered with startups, and we're saying that let's build user experiences and products that can help grow the capital markets in India. Now, the big challenge in India is, like I think all of is there are just 35-40 lakh Indians who invest actively once a year in the business, once a year in the stock markets, and what we are trying to do is is to say that can we increase this 35-40 lakh user base to a lot more, and through this partnership with these startups, right? So yeah, so I mean, please, I mean, just because you're seeing small case screeners, balance, etc., it doesn't mean that our focus is not on our execution platform. We are spending, I mean, you may not have seen great changes in our user experiences, but every day there is something new that is happening in the back end, in terms of what drives the trading platforms, right? Because that's our core focus right now, right? And once I mean, I think in this financial year, you will see a lot of new products for the trading community, in India as well through us, So I don't want to kind of reveal the secret, and give our competitors an edge on what is coming, So okay, so what makes Zerodha special? Okay, so let me. I don't know. Like I just said, I mean, I think, like in the last count, as I said, we are at 300,000 clients. But if you actually track, those that place on NSE where you see the number of active users that you can track for a broker month on month, I think we are adding more clients than anyone else in India right now. We just did one day, we did 1 million trades. So I mean, I don't know what makes us special or whatever. I mean, why is so much interest in the business? But I'm guessing, it's I mean, if I have to give a credit, I think it's one is mostly the technology team, and second is everyone else like me who are supporting the business, and we are all passionate about of offering the best trading experience in India. So maybe because of that. Uh, and yeah, taking Zerodha going public, I mean, would we want to go list on the stock exchanges anytime soon? I mean, see, one of those things we love as a business right now is, thankfully we bootstrap this business, so we don't have external VCs and PEs who are telling us how to run our business. I mean, I think one of those things that works very well for us as a business is the fact that, all decisions that are taken in terms of what we are doing as a business is all determined by, us people, who have been traders before. So we tend to pick and choose what we think is the best thing to do for traders, right? So there are still, so I mean, as I said, I mean, this independence is an amazing thing. Probably one of the reasons why we keep dishing out with all these new products and features and things like that, right? Uh, so yeah, so now going public, one of the issues with going public is that suddenly, you lose some of those independence, right? As in, you'll have external directors and things like that. So but we will go public sometimes, eventually, right? Because people who are part of Zerodha, they have stock options, they will which will get vested, so they will have to have an exit. So I'll have to find a way to take Zerodha public. May not be right now, but hopefully sometime, so right. Provide advisory services, there's again a question that is asked quite often, so now the issue with providing advisory services is, I mean, like, you know let's be honest, right? As in, when was the last time you or me actually followed anyone's advice, right? As in, like, I can't remember the last time I followed what my mom asked me to do, or my dad asked me to do, or anyone else asked me to do, right? Now the problem with advisory is one, it's more like spoon feeding, right? As in, now I might come out there and say buy XYZ stock at this price and sell above this, sell below this. Now the issue is, following the advice, I don't know if the person who's following the advice is actually following the way I had intended it to be. Now, second problem also about advisory is, as soon as the advice is taken, the person who took the advice starts applying his own brains to it. So he might exit before he starts trading. So it's to be able to advise to many people. So as a business, the conscious decision we have taken is not really to get there and advise, but enable people with all the tools and education and everything else around it to, which can help people, do better when trading and investing in the market. And also, I mean, being doing whatever I've been doing for like last 15-20 years, I can very clearly tell you that, not more than 1% of, if someone's relying on advisory or advice to kind of, make money of the stock markets, I mean, I don't think, it's easy. I mean, I don't think there are easy advisors out there which can help you make money. So the only real way to actually make money of the markets, I think, is to just sit there and slog and learn and, grow simultaneously. So right. So your brokerage charges is quite low. How do you manage to run this firm? I mean, uh, as I was telling, I mean, we run an extremely razor thin margin business. I mean, in today's world, being able to run this at 20 rupees a trade or at 0 rupees for equity investment is extremely tough. I mean, right. But the only reason we are able to survive is because it's like one of those economies of scale kind of a model, right? Isn't where um, we have 3 lakh clients, right? And we have 1.8 lakh active clients, and so because our scale is so much, that's the reason we are able to actually survive. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't have been possible. It wouldn't have been possible for us to spend on technology if we didn't have enough clients. It wouldn't have, because as I said, if you go raise money from someone else and try to spend, I mean, then you're kind of driven by the person who's investing, right? You're driven to kind of meet his expectations, right? I mean, the reason we have been able to do everything so organic is because I mean, because we have stayed and done everything organic, is because of which, we can continuously keep innovating, right? So yeah, so how does it work at such low cost? It works because it's such razor thin margin. I mean, to give you a case and example, one of the one of the things that we just did was, we were offering that regular mutual funds, right, until March, and from April onwards we started, the direct mutual funds. Now, uh, regular mutual funds, never really felt like a right product fit for Zerodha, so we never pushed it to our clients, right? Because in a regular mutual fund, we make a percentage commission, right? As in, so the AMCs tend to pay the distributor a percentage of the fee collected, the AUM collected from the clients. Now, on one side, we were as a business going and telling that, we work on flat fee per trade. We don't, we don't believe that because the size of the trade is more, you should pay more to the person who's selling it, right? So, but on the regular plan side, I was, we were going out and telling that, oh, it's okay making a percentage commission, so it never really was a good product fit. So as soon as we could offer the direct mutual funds from our platform, we did. Now, I mean, like, we were just having a discussion in our office yesterday, so like, I think we've gotten 3 international trips from AMCs. We let go of, like, I don't know, like 95% of our commissions. I mean, going direct, charging that 50 rupees a month on coin, essentially meant that we let go of lakhs of rupees of commission, and moved to a model where we are just earning a 50 rupee per fee, per month, and no commissions being earned from the AMCs, which essentially means more power, more money in the hands of the investor. Our clients were using the direct mutual funds. So now, again, the only reason we could take that step of letting go of so much revenue that was coming from regular funds and move to direct was because, we have that scale where we say that, say 10,000 people convert and pay us 50 rupees a month, it should, at least hopefully cover, what we were earning before, right? And it's a, and that's the only way, it works at such razor thin margins for us, so. Okay, so let me take the next one. Okay, so what are the checklists you look at to open your kite API for other developers to build an investment product, right? So one of those, as a business was, we kind of realized that we have become like a big fish in a small pond, and that's when we said, how do we make sure, we grow the markets in India, right? Because what's the point of being a big player in a really small market, right? So that's when we said, India needs like a WhatsApp movement for, financial products, and that's when we said we need to go out and find startups who are thinking of disrupting experience, right? I mean, for all of us who are invested in the markets here, we want to be as little, because there's so much correlation between what happens in India to, say, foreign inflows, right? As in, like what FIs are doing, etc. So I mean, as a country, we need to get to that point where, we determine as a country what right, and not really rely so much on foreign investors, right? So, and thankfully after a long time, I think the government has moved to that side as well, right? That where public can, if US America wouldn't have happened, like wouldn't have grown the way it has if public hadn't invested into companies that are growing, right? So we as a business, I mean, that's my, as I said, what's my long-term vision, to be able to offer an experience which will enable crores of Indians to come to the stock markets, invest, help businesses grow, and in turn help, countries, India grow. So that's when we went out there and we started looking out for like-minded people, and so yeah. So I mean, criteria that we are looking for, he has invest between, anywhere between a crore and a half to 5-6 crores into a startup, right? So we not only do that, we also think that we built a Zerodha as a bunch of APIs, so right from account everything else that we do as Zerodha can be used, and used to build a user experience, and hopefully something that will attract a lot of people. So what we are looking for are people who understand business, one, and who are passionate about what they're trying to do, and who come with decent technology skills, so right. Okay, so the next question: is the life at a stock brokerage actually like that shown in the Wolf of Wall Street movie? I mean, I mean, it is. exactly opposite to whatever has been shown in Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, that Wolf of Wall Street movie was just was a nightmare for me, because all my friends started calling me up and saying, "Oh, dude, Nitin, do you make money like this?" So absolutely not. I mean, right? As in we. At least as part of Zerodha, we have never ever sold a stock to a client, right? I mean, we have never ever said buy this stock or sell this stock, right? Whereas the Wolf of Wall Street, the whole movie revolves around that, right? The whole movie revolves around kind of pushing not very exactly opposite. So today, we are a technology enabled broking firm who just offers a platform. So we don't push any stocks to be bought or sold. So yeah, so exactly opposite of what what you have seen on Wolf of Wall Street, right? So how do you manage client risk? See, this is like the biggest challenge we have as a business, right? Because like I was telling earlier, um, you know you as a client, when you come open an account, I think most of our clients perceive that I as a broker don't take any risk, right? But then every leverage trade, every futures and options trade, every you know every intraday leverage trade, there is a risk the broker is taking. I'll tell you, to be a lot of clients on a forum were talking to me about how they think in a buying option trade, right? In an option trade, when someone's buying, there is no risk. I mean, I guess what can happen to those buy options which expire expiry date right at the premium itself. So a few weeks back, we lost like 50 lakh rupees to that as a broker. So I mean, it's bad debits from clients. So as I said, so it's just unlimited amount of risk for us as a business. When we are running this. So it becomes even harder for us to have that revenue any such such incident which can cause us loss doesn't really impact any other client. And so how do we manage it? I mean, we are extremely careful, right? So uh, every time a client's trading, so we have programs which are checking on people who are over leveraging, or who are extremely who are taking extreme amounts of risk. Like extreme amounts of risk for us as a business is someone who's riding deep in the money option, right? The money option which has no liquidity to it, right? I mean, that's probably the most riskiest product for us to offer. Because it just if say someone rides a deep in the money option, then the market's going against him, there's no way for us to even force an exit on him, right? So that's the riskiest product that we so that's so we kind of start from there. So we track people who are trading deep in the money risky options, and then for us is equity investing, because a person brings 100 rupees, buys pieces, and that's the reason we offer 0 rupees, right? As in, we don't charge a brokerage, because there is zero risk I take when someone's buying and selling stocks for delivery. So it's about more stability. It's actually about more scalability. It's about see, the thing is, what we did with Kite was something that was never attempted in India before, right? So which was so I don't know, for all of you who a Kite web-based platform works, is essentially the core of the core execution management system belongs to Thomson Reuters, right? So it's like it's very similar to say like how like a Porsche car uses an Audi engine to build a car around the engine, right? So that's what we've done. We've taken Thomson Reuters execution management system, which are tried and tested, and we built this whole ecosystem, like the web-based platform over that, right? Now, and we are the first guys in India to do it, to actually use this so the APIs, etc., that were provided to us when we were trying to build Kite originally, say 2.5 years back, was not really meant for the scale that Kite eventually reached. So that's been a slow transit. Like we've progressed actually quite fast there, right? As in, today we are at the point on Kite where we can potentially handle 3 times 4 times more load without really having to really worry about anything at all, right? So our challenge as a business right now is more in terms of the load on the lease lines and etc. I mean, because it's just ridiculous the cost of bandwidth in India. I mean, we spend crores of rupees every year. I mean, like for someone like when you're looking at a trading platform, you see a bunch of ticks and etc. I mean, but then there's a cost of streaming all those ticks onto your platform, right? I mean, the cost is exorbitant. I mean, all around the world, the bandwidth cost has been dropping like mad. But in India, I mean, the amount of the data centers cost charge for streaming, live market data. So hopefully, I mean, the way mobile internet rates, mobile data plan rates, etc., have been disrupted by Geo. Hopefully, some incident like that will happen. If an incident like that happens, the rates drop like tons more of data. So yeah, Kite 3.0 will be fine if we don't intend to launch all of them at one time. So we are launching stuff over the next 1 year. So hopefully, a lot of these will be first. And a lot of these things that will come from Kite 3.0 will be focused on traders. I mean, people like most of you who are probably plugged in right now. So are you seeing any increase in the number of people entering the markets considering the shallowness of our markets? Now, I'll tell you this, okay? I keep telling this story. Back when I was a sub broker for Reliance Money in between 2006 to 2000, in 2005 to 2008, 9. Like in 2006, 7 was crazy. Every single party I used to go to, every meeting, there used to be someone who used to ask me saying, Nitin, what stock to buy, right? Now, over the last 10 years, today I've done a lot better for myself in my life, right, as a career. But in the last 2 3 years, not a single person has asked me what stock to buy. So it's just surprising. It's just surprising the shallowness of the market in India, right? Uh so so yeah, so I'm waiting to see, I mean, what will be the tipping point, because usually the way the markets play out is that cyclically people come to the stock markets, and that's still not happening. There's still, we're still not really seeing a lot of new entrants to the stock markets. I mean, what has happened though in the last, I think, 1 year is a lot of money has come through mutual funds. But then mutual funds is not really a bull market, right? I mean, if you see bull markets around the world, mutual funds is usually a prelude to people investing directly into stocks. I mean, I might have a vested interest in saying this though. But yeah, so I think it's starting off where people, with all the real estate prices going nowhere, gold going nowhere, fixed deposit rates dropping. I think finally we are seeing a little bit of traction where more people are actually looking at coming to the stock markets. Does Zerodha not provide higher leverages? Absolutely right. A brokerage giving you an insane amount of leverages, you can assume that he's taking insane amounts of risk as well, right? Because now, with the who's taking extreme amounts of risk, that's a question for you to answer, right? Because the more risk a person, it's a more chance. So the reasons we stay away from giving extreme amount of leverages. Now, the is in the interest of the client as well. How? So the client, I'll tell you, I mean, whatever little experience I've had as a trader, and I've been lucky that I've also had an experience to meet from being part of Zerodha, right? I think the difference between the really successful traders and the not successful ones, the difference is actually how people manage risk. Strategy, etc., is all secondary, to be very honest. I think you may be trading so well, but if you don't know how to manage risk, it can just blow out in your face, right? So I keep telling this story, right, where people meet accidents. It's not because people meet accidents because they didn't have time to think. They did have time to think. They met accident because they panicked, right? Now, when people take leverages, it's a very similar thing, right? When people take leverage with 1 lakh rupees, someone's bought say 30 lakh rupees of stocks, right? So with such a leverage, the risk is so high that the person tends to kind of panic if something goes bad, right? So that's trying to make this as a living. And the only way you can make this as a living is if you can in the long term, and okay, when you say you have 3 lakh clients, the NSE website shows a smaller number. Okay, the NSE website shows the active clients, active number of users. I think NSE website shows 1.8 lakhs people for Zerodha, so out of 3 lakh clients, 1.8 lakh people have traded. Right now is I suppose at around 5 lakh active users, so and that list also shows around 60 lakh Indians who actively invested once a year. So essentially, we are 3% of the active investor market right now, right? And but if you look at us as a trading volumes, I think we are a much bigger, in terms of trading volumes. So we're probably in the top 2, 3 in the country. Uh, in your last webinar, you said that exchanges are working on a e-IPO platform. I mean, so there is no update. There's no update on this yet, right? Now, time to move global, include forex currency trading, gold, silver, crude trading, foreign stocks as well. Uh, so yeah, so the thing is, now I think I don't know if how many of you actually looked at the RBI, the FEMA policy. So it very clearly states that when if you're taking money out of India, you cannot really trade leverage products using it, right? You can use it to buy stocks, you can use it to buy real estate, etc. But you can't really use it for currency and things. The good news there is that I think cross currency challenge should be that I don't think it's going to be a 24-hour market like the way the currency probably open from 9 to 7 or something like that, right? So whereas like euro, dollar, etc., becomes extremely active after the US markets open in the evening. So yeah, so in a sense, it's good that these things are coming to India, but I don't know how much we can make use of the cross currency pairs yet, right? Investing into foreign stocks, this is on our list of things to do, right? Now, right now for us as for us to be able to offer this is that who takes the responsibility of moving money from say your bank account to the trading or broking account internationally, right? Because the government has made it extremely tough to take money out of this country, right? So documents and bunch of letters that you'll have to give to the bank to be able to move the money out of India to invest into markets outside, right? So as long as soon as there is some easy way of doing this, we would be more than happy to offer this, because it's integrating with another broker internationally who works on our kind of a similar pricing model, is straightforward for us. Jagdish asks, how safe is our data with Zerodha? It's as safe as it can be, right? As in, so we take care, so we don't give people accesses, computers don't have access to floppy drives or CDs. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying floppy, but yeah, right? So no USB points and etc. So can you describe a typical day in a brokerage firm? Um, I am not okay as a person who's running a brokerage firm. I uh, person running Zerodha as a brokerage firm. My lifestyle is probably very different to what a typical broker's life would be. But uh, I uh, because most of our processes are automated. Our risk processes are automated. See, one of the things that has made our business grow faster than others has been because we have kept the rules absolutely simple. Right from the day one of our business, the pricing model we have has remained the same for all our clients. The leverage risk model has been remaining the same for all our clients. The account opening fees and all that structure has been same, right? So we never till date have kind of try to differentiate clients saying low net worth, high net worth, blah 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 blah, right? So we have kept the model extremely easy. So what it makes is, it makes my life as a person running this business also extremely simple, right? So so the risks, when positions have to be scared off, etc., all of those processes are essentially documented and automated kind of thing. So yeah, uh, it's a typical day is quite a normal day. So a lot of time is spent for me interacting. I take a lot of effort interacting with our clients through trading Q&A, Z Connect, etc., because it kind of helps me connect to what our clients want us to do as a business, right? And also spend a lot of time speaking to our teams, internal teams, on how to grow the business. So what is the biggest failure in your career that you overcame? Right. So the thing is, I mean, uh, today people around me call this passion, because Zerodha worked out, and generally, has done well for me as a career. But then, for majority of my life, I was actually being called foolish. So I started trading extremely young, right? And then so for almost like 15 years of my life, people have told me around me to go get a real job, right? Um, so yeah, so I mean, looking back today, yeah, you can call it passion, but then, if you had to actually quantify, I mean, I had to call this something, back when I was 17, 18, till when I was like 31, 32, you would have had to call it as foolishness to be doing, what I was doing. So my biggest failure, I mean, I think it was 2001, 2002. I mean, when index options got introduced in the markets. So I moved into trading Nifty options then, and then uh, I I mean, yeah, I lost the entire money I had, which I had saved for 3, 4 years in probably 10 minutes. And yeah, that was my biggest moment, because what it meant was I had to stop trading and then go join a call center for where I worked for 3.5, 4 years to put a trading capital back, right? So yeah, so that was the learning point. And so why call center? Because it kind of gave time to work in the nights, trade during days. So so that, I think, but then that 3, 4 years of my life when I worked in the call center, trying to put up a trading capital, and also trade and work and all of that, I mean, that's probably was the biggest grounding experience I've had in my life. So after that, in my life, I've realized the importance of managing risk, right? Because you never know what is the next trade, next incident that can hurt you bad. So so the only real way to remain sane in this world is to kind of have the risks surrounding us managed. And especially for traders like us, who are trying to make a living out of this, I think managing risk becomes even more important. Another problem which I've seen, which was a problem with me as a trader also when I was very young, was that was this whole idea of thinking that we can make 10, 20% returns every month, right? As in, I mean, I've seen at least like couple of lakh traders now, actively and closely. And I'll tell you that, I mean, you can have a lucky streak 1 month, 2 month, 3 month where you made this 10, 20% in a month. But in a long term, if you want to do this as a living over 10 years, 15 years, I mean, that return's not going to happen, right? Let's be, honest to ourselves, right? As in, right. So in a longer run, if you're making 3, 4, 5% a month, that's like a brilliant return, right? Now, the reason I'm telling this is because you cannot, I think, in today's world, with all the with inflation at where it is, I don't think today, uh, at 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees in our accounts, we can use trading as a means of a living. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm pointing this out is because I know that 90% of our clients have less than, say, 1 or 2 lakhs in the accounts, right? So this cannot really be used as a, so I think, it's like, those 3, 4 years when I was in a call center, when I did not have enough trading capital, it was important that I supported it with an additional source of income, right? So what it meant was, then I'm not over leveraging on my capital all the time to keep up with my monthly costs, right? So I think, like, my advice for someone out there would be that, if there is, in today's world, a 4% is a lakh rupees a month, right? If you have 25 lakhs as a trading capital, a 4% a month is a brilliant return if you can make month on month, right? So, and a lakh rupees is in today's world is required, I think, if you're trading and taking risk as a business, you know uh, you know without a salary. So if you don't have that much capital, I think my strong advice would be to also have an alternate source of income to kind of, you know so that which lets you pursue the passion of trading. So uh okay, so okay, last couple of questions. What next for Zerodha and Nitin Kamath? I mean, uh, like I was telling, uh, like my real, my long term dream for us as a business is, as Zerodha, has always been that we can make a material difference for our economy. So I mean, yes, we have helped traders today to save on costs, etc. But the true business would be when, say, we have to one crore Indians to come to the capital markets and invest into great businesses, help great businesses grow, create employment, help the economy grow in turn. So I mean, so that's a long term vision. I don't know when that'll happen, what will be the user experience. One crore Indians to come to the capital markets, that's a longer term vision. I heard you play the guitar. Are you going to start a band? I'm I'm extremely below average guitarist. So just so yeah. So if someone invites me to a band, I would be more than happy because I enjoy music. So yeah. So I'm doing such type of ideas. Uh, these ideas were not our ideas. These ideas were, people who are starting up. Right? I mean, it was the founders of Small Case. It was the founders of Balance. They came. We sat together, and we loved the idea, and that's why we said, why don't you us use us? I mean, see, today, if you want to be a broker in India, the the cost is a crore and a half in deposit, another 50 lakhs to 1 crore in setting up your infra, tech infra, and all of that. But more importantly, what is the cost is, it can take you between 1.5 to 2 years to actually get a license, have your infra up, have these lease lines commissioned, and all of that, right? As in, and then once you do all of this, to onboard clients, which is 25 page form, you still have to be able to, sign a contract, sign a lease. Okay, so these are coming up in India, which will be beneficial. Uh, I think, okay, if I have to list one after the currency, the USD dollars, etc., coming on the market will be a very interesting product. Commodity options will be very interesting. Commodity options, something that might start something that are being used for onboarding. Some use Aadhaar as digital signature and etc. So that's something which is exciting for big players in the stock markets. And or not, but first we surveillance comes into play for everyone who's trading, because it so a bunch of these surveillance measures. So I think that's again a good thing um, for the investor community in India, right? And yeah, so I think that's about it. So I had answering these questions. So if you have more, so we could probably plan something like once a quarter, and actually have it more topics on the business. Was the whole idea of doing this was Nikhil was supposed to take a thing on how he trades, but then he's fallen sick. So this was me replacing. So hopefully I did could add some value to to all of you. So you guys have a good day, have a good trading day, and then keep spreading the love. Let people know about Zerodha. So because we need to keep scaling. For us to be able to offer you product. Sorry for the marketing pitch. Okay, good day.